Hey everyone, and I am here with my promised Ultra Boost X shoe review. I'm super excited to do it because I really actually did enjoy this shoe. I just came back from an event for it in San Francisco with Adidas, and yeah, it was rainy and gloomy and wet, and it was just some good weather to really test out a shoe in. So enjoyed it, liked it. I'm going to talk a little bit about it first and some of the features that are in this shoe, and you're also going to see in some of the other Adidas shoes that I'm going to show you as well, just to kind of compare. And then of course I'm going to tell you my favorites for training, like my Get Fit Guide training with strength and HIIT plyos, and then I'll tell you my favorite one to run in. So yay, it's going to be fun. Quick little review here. So one thing that is super amazing and wonderful about these shoes, and some of the other ones I'm going to show you, and again, this is the Ultra Boost X, made specifically for women, so all women's sizes here, sorry guys, all women's. So one of my favorite things about running in Adidas shoes, and the ones that I've really started to love, is this boost. So just a few features of the boost to get you started if you're unfamiliar with it, have never run in it, things like that. So some people tell me like that it's a little bit more expensive to buy a boost shoe, and I'm like, well yes, but they are going to last you longer. So this material is super resilient, super durable, it's meant to last long. We were just with some of the shoes creators this past week, and he says that pretty much this boost will last until your shoe is falling apart. So if your shoe is falling apart, then yes, get a new one, but this boost is made to last. It's made to really stay as cushiony and resilient and awesome from the day that you get it until the day that you stop wearing it. So you'll be able to get in like more miles in this shoe than a traditional running shoe because of this boost technology, which is awesome because, when you find a pair of running shoes you love, you just want to keep them forever, right? So, one of the other things that is really great about this shoe in particular, well actually another point about the boost that I really like, is that the technology will stay the same in the heat, the extreme heat or the extreme cold. So whether you're running in the snow and ice, or you're running in a heat wave like I deal with in the summer here, this boost material is not going to melt on you, crack on you, or whatever other variation of horribleness that weather can cause to a shoe. It's really made to last, and it's really, really durable. So that's just my, love confession for the boost technology. So on to the rest of the shoe and some little pointers and things about it before I kind of get to how it felt and how it fit. It's continental rubber on the bottom. So when we were running in the rain and things like that, I did notice that I didn't slip or anything at all. So, this stuff is supposed to be really grippy, really help with that kind of stuff. It's the kind of rubber that tires are made of. So, if your car's not slipping in the rain, then you're probably not going to slip in the rain either with these continental rubber on the bottom. And it's also kind of made in a web that's kind of meant to stretch and move with your foot a little bit more than if it was just solid rubber on the bottom, obviously. So this shoe, like I just said, it's supposed to kind of stretch and move with your foot, that web on the bottom. This shoe is they really had in mind that whole notion overall with the shoe. We talked to the designers a lot and got a little bit of insight into it after we had run in it a little bit. And so another thing that they kind of made to adapt to your foot is this floating arch. So you can see my fingers can go all the way through the shoe, which is crazy, right? But this floating arch right here is something that's really cool and really unique to Adidas shoes and to the Pure Boost X and the Ultra Boost X. So it's made specifically for women. It's made to really snug and fit your arch, kind of like you're hugging your foot up there with the arch. So it's really made to adapt to whatever kind of foot you have. It's not pushed up, so it's not like when your foot goes in, the arch is going to push up and make your foot uncomfortable. You can smush it down to the base. So when you kind of put your foot in, it kind of adjusts because it's stretchy, adjusts to your personal arch, which is really great and a really awesome concept because I know like I put my foot in a lot of other shoes and like either the arch is maybe sometimes in the wrong place just because of the way your foot is built, or like your foot just goes flat if you have a high arch, or things like that. So there can be a lot of problems with traditional shoes and arches. But this one really kind of hugs onto your foot and kind of does what you need it to do, which is awesome. So yeah, that's really cool, and they did that specifically for their this shoe and their last shoe that they made just for women, they've got all kind of research and science and technology behind it, but I actually personally really like it. I really like the snug fit to my foot. I really like how it feels secure in there. I don't feel like my foot's sliding around at all in the shoe, which is really nice because I know sometimes I can just like tie my laces so incredibly tight because I have a really long, thin foot. And even then, sometimes I feel like my foot's sliding around. So this is nice. I feel like no matter kind of what width your foot is going here, it should be able to adapt and fit pretty well. The other thing that is the technology in the shoe is their Primeknit. So as you can see, I'm pressing out the top of the shoe. It's really stretchy, which also, being the knit adds, like, you can get a good airflow in here. I wore these shoes for that 2-day event. I think I had them on 10 hours both days, like nonstop, not taking them off at all. And I didn't feel like my foot was like overly sweaty or getting really hot. You know, like in some shoes, my feet just sweat and that's really gross. But I guess there's just not good airflow and like it's just, I can feel like my sweaty foot and I'm always grossed out by that. But I did not feel like that in this shoe. And that was really nice because we were running and then we were on a bus and then we were just doing all kind of different stuff, and I never had to really stop and think, ew, my foot is sweaty, ew, ew. So that's really nice. It's breathable. It's kind of meshy. It's called their Primeknit, so that's nice. And then the other thing that they kind of have here that's different from the Ultra Boost, or the Pure Boost, which was their first shoe for women, is that they put the sock fit on it. So this sock actually is a lot like their Uncaged. So I'm going to put that down for a second. But that's where this came from. It came from the Ultra Boost Uncaged. And I honestly am not like a big sock fit person in a shoe, but I really enjoyed this. It didn't bother me. I didn't ever stop to think like, oh, the sock fit's okay, but it kind of feels funny. But that's kind of how the whole shoe was. Like I never really stopped to think like, oh, what is this shoe feeling like on my foot? Like what is that or what is this? Because it just kind of felt natural to be on my foot, like almost like I wasn't really paying attention to the fact that I was wearing a shoe because it was just kind of comfortable and it just kind of fit, which is always nice in a shoe because you never want to sit and be thinking like, oh, something's rubbing or oh, it's too tight there or too loose there. But I personally felt like this just was kind of on my foot, and I think that's why I was able to stay in it for 10 hours 2 days in a row, because it just kind of has a natural, nice fit, which is good, always good. So yes, so here's some main points for this shoe, just again, real quick before I kind of compare it to some others. It's got the Boost technology in it, which is amazing. Your shoe will last longer. You'll be able to put more miles on it. And yeah, you can pretty much just run it into the ground because it just stays and stays good. It's got the floating arch, which is really nice to have your foot feel nice and secure, kind of adapts to your foot. I think some of the technology there was also when they did like their motion sensing technology, they realized that like your foot kind of shifts a lot in the arch, so they wanted something that was going to kind of shift with it rather than have your foot slide around, which I really enjoy. And then back here, just this keeps your heel in place really nicely. I never felt like my foot was sliding out of it. That is another thing, because I have such skinny feet, like skinny but big feet, I always had to have a bigger shoe, so like a lot of times I would have to do all these kind of weird things to try and keep my heel in place, but my heel stayed in really nicely here. I never felt like I was slipping out of it. So, nice little sock top, sock, ankle, sock. It's got a sock fit on the top, it's nice. So this is also really stretchy, so it's never gonna feel like it's cutting your circulation off. I wore a sock with it anyways, because I wear socks with everything. I just can't imagine not wearing a sock in a shoe, so. But I did know that there were some girls there that weren't wearing socks with these, so I guess that's your personal preference. Yeah, personally, I'm a sock person. So other than that, so Boost technology, floating arch, Primeknit upper, so it kind of moves and flexes with your foot if you need it to, nice and breathable. But it is reinforced right here, so you're not gonna feel like your foot's flying out forward at all, which is really nice because that's never nice to have your toes flying over the base of the shoe. And then the last little thing is you have the kind of cage. It's different than the Ultra Boost cage. It's just kind of like a little half squarish shape, but it's nice too. It didn't bother me at all. It kind of puffs out a little bit if you tie it really tightly, which I did, but on most people it didn't look like that. And yeah, it's just overall, I really enjoyed this shoe. Before this, I went in kind of thinking like nothing can beat the Ultra Boost. I'm in love with Ultra Boost. So we'll see what this Ultra Boost X is. But I really do like the Ultra Boost X. It may be my new favorite. We're gonna see after a few weeks. But I do really like it. My first few runs in it, and we did 4 or 5 runs in 2 days. So we had a lot of running. So I got a good chance to kind of be in it. Even walk in it. I filmed one of my workout videos in it just because I wanted to kind of see like how that felt. I feel like it's always a good test just to see how your foot moves around doing other things with a shoe, just in case, you know. So this is a solid shoe for me. I really liked it, really liked it. And again, this is the Ultra Boost X made just for women. So I'm just going to compare it to some other ones that I've run in, just so that you kind of have, you know, an idea when I'm telling you what my favorites are. So this is the Uncaged, and it's a little bit different. What it kind of has in common with this shoe, of course, is the Boost technology and the Continental rubber so that you're not slipping, sliding, which was actually really nice to kind of test in the rain, because at home I don't run in the rain because I don't have to. But there it was really nice to see that like I didn't feel like I was slipping or sliding or anything with that rubber. I think it really does help with the grip. So, Boost technology, again, awesome, keeping your heel in back here. And then the sock fit. So this is the Uncaged. If you like a fit that's not as just like super snug and on your foot, like that floating arch is gonna give, you may wanna try the Uncaged. There is obviously no cage here, so it's a little bit reinforced, so there is some more sturdiness to the sides, but it doesn't have that traditional like Ultra Boost Adidas cage right there. And it doesn't have, you know, the other cage. So, definitely worth trying out. I enjoy this one as well, but I would definitely say that I prefer the Ultra Boost X over the Ultra Boost Uncaged personally. My foot feels a little less snug in here, and since I have such a thin foot, I like the snugness. So if you're not one of those people with like a long and skinny foot, you may want to try this out as well. You know, to just compare and see which one you like better. If you don't like your foot to feel super snug in there, then this may be a good one to try too. But again, both of them are great shoes. It's all going to come down to personal preference. Just want to give you some information about each so you can kind of decide for yourself. All right, after that we're going to go on to my previous favorite, the Ultra Boost. Just an all-around awesome, wonderful shoe, in my opinion. Has a lot of the same technologies between the Boost, the kind of breathable upper. It's not as stretchy up here as you get with the Ultra Boost X, but still nice and breathable. It's knit. You obviously have your cage here, which is nice for me because I tighten it really tight again. So I think the thing that really I like more over here is that I can really feel the snugness of that lifted arch. I love that floating arch, I really do. It's just such a neat and awesome and unique thing in a shoe, and it's something that I love about the Ultra Boost X. So anyways, here's Pure Boost, or oh my gosh, there's so many shoe names. This is the plain Ultra Boost, so if you've never worn one, they're amazing all around. Continental rubber, Boost, the regular just cage on it. Very nice, very all-around awesome shoe, and again, gonna last you super long because of that Boost technology and that Continental rubber on the bottom, so you can put more miles in on them. So again, these are just super great shoes all around. These are probably my 2 favorite runners. If I'm gonna run in a shoe, it's gonna be one of these. I just really like them. I really think the traditional Ultra Boost is great, and I'm kind of probably transitioning more into this one. Yeah, they're both just great all around. You can kind of see the little differences here, but nothing massively different besides, this middle part right here in the sock. I guess they really are pretty different shoes once you look all up here, but they both have the Boost, so they're both going to give you that support. They're both going to be really long-lasting shoes. All right, and here is probably the one, I guess this is kind of what came after this, because this is the first shoe that Adidas made for women. This is the Pure Boost X. I don't know if you guys have run in it or not. It's a little bit different than the Ultra Boost X. So you can kind of see there's a little bit less boost material in this one, a little bit less boost and a little bit thicker rubber on the bottom there. But it still has that web, it still has the rubber, though I'm not honestly sure if it's the Continental rubber. It doesn't say it is, so I'm going to assume it's not. You may want to research that if you're really into the Continental rubber. But again, these are both really flexy shoes, so you can really bend them up, and they both have that floating arch, which is really nice, one of my favorite things. And then again, it's breathable up here. This even has a little bit of extra just mesh in the sides and the front there. And yeah, floating arch. This Ultra Boost X does have a little bit more of a cage tie here. Like this only has those 3 ties. You get 4 here. So if you like a little bit more security on your foot, you're probably going to want to go with this one. This one, your foot's going to feel a little bit more locked in here in the Ultra Boost X than it is here. So it all kind of depends on what you like in your runner, how you like your foot to feel. I feel like this is a bit of a looser fit. This is a bit of a more secure, tight fit. So if you're really into your foot being snug and secure, definitely Ultra Boost X. If you're okay with a little bit more of a little bit less of a snug fit, then Pure Boost X you may want to try as well. But again, here a lot of that same technology with the boost and with the floating arch. You don't have the Primeknit here. But yeah, so this is the first shoe for women that they made last year. Went to an event for it then as well, which was also really cool to do. Got to do a lot of running in this one as well. So this is definitely a little bit of a less secure fit, but if you're looking for very secure and snug, Ultra Boost X is great. So those are all running shoes. Yes, they're all running shoes, and this is made to be a running shoe as well. So I'm going to go with my favorite running shoe probably being either the regular Ultra Boost or this Ultra Boost X. Hard for me to choose which one. Maybe in the future after doing some more runs and some intervals in these a few more times, I may just move over to this being my favorite, but we will see. So all in all, if you're looking for a running shoe, I would recommend any of these, but my personal favorites are going to be the Ultra Boost and the Ultra Boost X. They're just super amazing shoes, guys. Now the Ultra Boost is not like a stability shoe or anything. This floating arch technology is supposed to be a little bit more stable, so it may give you a little bit more stability if you're someone that's used to running in like something that is labeled a stability shoe. But neither of them, as far as I know, are like labeled stability as far as like traditional running shoes goes, but this is supposed to kind of help with that. So try them out for sure. I definitely think they're worth giving a shot. They're great shoes to run in. I love them. So off of running and on to training, because I do a lot of training that does not involve running. I'm not strictly a runner. So my favorite, and this is probably my favorite all-time, and again, those are my favorite all-time running shoes. I have run in a lot of different shoes, from ones that gave me massive blisters, to ones that my heels slipped out of, to finally ones that I could just tolerate, because I did 10 years of competitive running through high school and college. So I've been through a lot of shoes, and these are my all-time favorites. So I just really enjoy them. I will probably never switch off of these running shoes, but we'll see. They're amazing. You'll see if you try them. So we're going back to training shoes now. And this is not the boost technology, this is bounce technology. And honestly, I am not that educated on the difference, so I'm not going to try and explain it. Basically, what I have read is this is a little bit of firmer technology than boost, so it's just slightly different. You would have to do some research if you want to know the differences, but I love these shoes. So these are the Edge Luxe. You can see it written on the back there. I hope my camera's going in focus with me when I put stuff there. If not, I'm sorry. Edge Luxe. This is the white crystal color. I also have ones in black and gray because I love them that much. So what I really like about these for training, so again, this is what I do like my Get Fit Guide workouts in, and they're mainly strength and plyos. So my foot feels secure, this nice, and I really like the thick laces, not only aesthetically because they look really cool and really unique, but I feel like the thick laces that they come with really keep your foot in better than the thin laces would. But they also come with thin laces, so if you're more for that, then give it a shot. Switch them out and try it. I did, but I just really like the thick ones. So they're nice. They're breathable. Again, my foot doesn't really feel like sweaty in these usually. They're nice and stretchy in the upper as well. And then they have that flatter foot, and that's kind of what I like about them for training. They're a much flatter shoe than an Ultra Boost or an Ultra Boost X or any of the ones I just showed you. You can kind of tell they're just a different shoe. That one's much better for me personally for running. So this is my favorite training shoe, like all around probably that I've ever trained in. And I've trained in a lot of different shoes as well, because over the years, you just try and buy different shoes and you either like them or you feel like they were a waste of money, which stinks, obviously, which is why I'm doing this review, so I can kind of show you, what's involved in all of these. So I really like these. They're a great training shoe. Foot feels secure. I don't feel slidey or like my foot's gonna slide out of it when I do plyos or strength or anything. So I'm bouncing around a lot, hopping around a lot, and so my foot feels good in these. So I think that says a lot, because it's not like I'm just doing straight weighted movements where I'm not bouncing, not going side to side, not going up and down. And yeah, so these are nice, and these are the Edge Luxe. They come in different colors. I actually have my black ones right here. They're kind of stinky because I just worked out in them. But yeah, so again, this is nice. It doesn't rub my ankle at all. This doesn't rub my ankle at all. This makes my foot feel nice and secure in the center again, but you've got that breathable side, and then it's nice and flat. So I don't have too much terribly to go into detail-wise on these, but I really do like them. Just really like them as a training shoe. They're awesome. I can't say that enough. But what I will say as far as sizing, so that's super important, right? To get the right size. So all of these shoes that I just showed you, I wear a 9 in. So I wear a 9 across the board in Adidas so far, and I've tried a bunch of different shoes except for the Alpha Bounce. So I would say if you're looking at the Alpha Bounce, I would go, and you've worn another Adidas shoe, I would go a full size smaller in that. So I wear a 9 in these, but I wear an 8 in the Alpha Bounce, which I'm not upset about. I love, having an 8 in something. But as far as sizing goes against other brands, if you're looking at other running shoe brands, I wear a whole size smaller in Adidas than I do there. So if you're looking at stuff like that you would get at a running store, just the other brands like Asics, Brooks, things like that. I wore a 10 in those, and I wear a 9 across the board in these. So I would definitely recommend trying them on, or at least going a little bit smaller, at least looking at the measurement comparisons before you get them if you're getting them online. If you're going in store, that's perfect because you can just try them on. So anyways, that's my shoe review. I love them. I'm going to go ahead and say that these are my two favorites, running, training. This is the Ultra Boost X. It's their new shoe for women, and I think they did an amazing job on it. Personally, fits well, feels good, doesn't bother my foot at all. And again, I had it on for 2 10-hour days in a row. And then this for the training shoe. I think this is actually a fairly new one too. It came out maybe like the last year or year and a half. I don't know, I've had it for at least I feel like I've had this for about a year, and I've really enjoyed it, and I haven't switched out of it yet because I like them. Anyways, so that about wraps up my shoe review. If you have any questions, let me know. If I didn't answer anything that you have a question about, just write it down. I'm here for you. I will answer it as best that I can. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope it helped, and I'll see you next video, which will probably be a workout instead of a review.